Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new 2024 re-release of the NECA A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 The Dream Warriors Freddy Krueger retro figure. So before we take a look at Freddy, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, of course, he comes with his hat, and this is actually sculpted really nicely. It looks very worn, it has some nice texturing to it, and it has a dry brushing of light brown over top of it. It looks really good, and it fits on his head very well. It stays on there very nicely and looks very awesome. And finally, he comes with this Chest of Souls attachable piece, and this looks fantastic. The sculpt detail to it is crazy. All of the trapped souls there screaming looks very nice. It's sculpted really well. The burnt flesh is sculpted really nicely, and then you have some red tones painted over top of that. That looks amazing. NECA did a phenomenal job on this. The way you attach it to the figure, though, is a bit of a nightmare. So in the movie, Freddy just kind of rips his shirt to the side and exposes this, and I wish that's the way the figure would have been. Just a ripped sweater with sculpted detail instead of this attachable piece, because you're meant to put it underneath the sweater. You could put it over top, but that looks absolutely ridiculous. So I will show how you put it on. Normally I'd edit this part of the video out, that way it wouldn't be long, but I do want to show what a process it is to get this on. So first up, you have to get Freddy's arms all the way up in the air. You have to roll his sweater up, and you can see that Freddy is absolutely ripped underneath that sweater. You also have to undo the pants. It's really awkward to do this. And here you can see fibers of the sweater sticking to the Velcro back here. So you have to pull his pants down a little bit to attach this. So you just attach this up here underneath the sweater. Try not to poke it like I'm doing. Get it attached, and then pull the pants up over top of this, because you can see where there's no sculpt down here. This is meant to be tucked into the pants. So once you do that, everything lines up back here. So that actually does look really good with his shirt lifted up like that. You wouldn't know, honestly, unless you look back here, that it was a separate piece. It's not quite accurate to what happens in the movie, though. The picture on the package actually shows him holding his shirt up to reveal the Chest of Souls, but you can see that he's quite a bit away from that. If he would have had double jointed elbows, he could have actually held that up. But yeah, the way it is, he can't hold it up. You can kind of get the fabric staying up like that, but it looks ridiculous because his hand is so far out from his chest there. And once you put the sweater down like this, he's just very lumpy. You can see how lumpy his chest is. It just looks really bad in my opinion once you have it on there. And also getting it on, you can see the runs that I've made in the fabric. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing that. Like I said, it is a nightmare to put on there. It looks great, and the idea was good, it's just the execution falls really flat on that. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I think the head sculpt is phenomenal. It looks a lot like Robert Englund, like it's honestly a perfect likeness of him. And this updated version features print tech. I think the original version just had solid paint on it, so you get printed on eyes and printed on teeth over the gums there. And that looks really good. I do wish he'd be looking straight on instead of to the side, because you kind of have to have his head like that. But other than that, I think this is a phenomenal looking head sculpt. His skin is really glossy. It looks very slimy. You get that reddish tone in the burns on his skin right there. That looks really good. NECA did a phenomenal job of sculpting that. And this actually more or less reuses the body mold for most of the male figures from the original time this was made. But it is altered slightly, because you actually get sculpted burn details here on the neck running down around where the neck of the sweater lies. So I think that's actually pretty cool. And I think the sweater itself is tailored very nicely. But as you can see, the ends are fraying. The ends were already fraying when I bought this, but trying to put this on just made it fray even more. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to be a little more careful with this. I might have to put some, I think there's something you can buy to put on this to stop it from fraying, but I'm definitely going to have to do that. The back is really bad, because the Velcro, you can see that the loose fibers there are getting stuck to the exposed Velcro. So that is a bit unfortunate. Around the cuffs, it actually looks really good and works great, but just from where I've taken the sweater on and off from trying to put this on, it has made it fray even worse down here. The glove also has some excellent detailing. The blades look very nice, the glove itself is painted really well. NECA did a fantastic job on that, and even the burns on his hand look really nice. You get some really nice paint variation over top of that skin tone. That looks really good. But once you move the shirt up like that, then it looks very goofy because, like I said, this is just the body mold that they used, I think, for most of the male figures back then. The pants look pretty good. I don't have anything really to say about them. I swear the original version might have had a dry brushing of brown paint over top of it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might have. And yeah, this one doesn't have any of that. It just has the loose fibers there from the sweater sticking to it. And then the boots are even sculpted nicely. All the laces and everything, that looks really nice. But if you have him standing like this, then his feet are always going to be at an angle. I had the same issue with Captain Spaulding. I wish since this was a re-release, they would have updated him with an ankle rocker. Because as is, his feet just kind of do that, and it's really hard to get him to stand. And they didn't sculpt anything on the bottoms. You don't even get any peg holes. Because I was actually going to use just a NECA stand underneath him for this review just to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, he doesn't have any sort of peg holes, so that is a bit unfortunate. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head, but it barely moves up and down. There's barely any movement there. Side-to-side movement is very nice. He has shoulders that can move all the way out, a swivel at the bicep, single-jointed elbows that can barely move in. I definitely wish they would have updated these arms, because I think Michael Myers, one of the new Michael Myers, I believe he had double-jointed elbows, so it would have been nice if they would have just swapped some double-jointed elbows onto this figure. He has swivel wrists that can move side to side and up and down very nicely. Even with the glove, you get some nice up and down movement there. He has a waist swivel that can move side to side very nicely. He has ball-jointed hips that can only move out that far. That's all the farther I'd be comfortable moving them out, that way you don't split the seam right there. He can kick forward that far. He can kick back just a little bit more. He has a very nice thigh swivel, single-jointed knees that barely move in, and ankles that can move down just a little bit and up just a little bit. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the retro New Nightmare Freddy Krueger figure, which I think is one of my all-time favorite Freddy Krueger designs. It just looks so cool. It'd look a lot cooler if he had his hat on, but I lost it before this review. Here he is next to the suited Freddy. I actually think this is from part 3 as well. You can see that they do reuse the same hands. I wish his hands would have been kind of flat and not doing this. And finally, just for fun, here he is next to retro Captain Spaulding. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because I think it's a really cool figure. I missed out on the original one for whatever reason. I think it was like 2016 when it was first released. So I'm happy to finally have a regular Freddy Krueger in my collection. The one big complaint I have about it, though, is the chest of souls. I mean, honestly, as a standalone figure, it's completely fine. It's just the chest of souls doesn't really work the way it should. It's more of a pain putting it on, and then you take the chance of creating runs in the material and fraying it even more than it is. So I would honestly just leave that off if you get this. Right now, it's hitting Walmart stores. I don't think it's an exclusive, but if you're trying to find this, definitely look at Walmart. This is in a special section by I think it's from Bloody Disgusting, and it's in the DVDs. It's not the actual NECA section. It's in a different place. So if you're wanting this, definitely look at Walmart for it. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.